On Monday, I made a video about Manus AI, and I ran it through several different tests. I asked it to go through a list of domains. It failed. I asked it to come up with some articles. Again, full of plagiarism, completely failed. I was ready to throw in the towel and give up and cancel my $200 Manus subscription. That was until I found this secret way to use Manus to make money online. No, you don't need a lot of skills. No, you don't need a built-in user base or a bunch of traffic to start. And yes, this will work even if you're a complete beginner. In fact, what I created with Manus was so simple, I just uploaded it and it was ready to go. No changes, no nothing. Zero to product in less than 30 minutes. So get ready, because this video is about the hidden profit strategy hiding in plain sight on Manus AI. I'm going to show you where I get ideas, how I implement them, and ultimately, how to get paid. So if you're excited, smash a like button. Let's fire up Manus, and I'm going to show you exactly, start to finish, how to make money online. Come on, let's go to work. Okay, so what we're about to see is pretty amazing. Now, there are a few bugs we have to work through, but I'll show you how they work in just a minute. It's actually pretty simple. We're going to be using Manus and the capability to create multiple files. This is something we saw Manus do early on, where I could go through and say, hey, you know what? I want you to create me 25 articles about this, and it would go through and it would make all the articles and package them in a nice little zip folder, so I could download them very easy, right like this, and you could see the zip folder just goes to my downloads, which is really cool. We can download everything very easy. Now, up until recently, I thought that this was just for documents, content, articles, files, things like that. But I recently realized that this can actually do something even more sinister that can make us a lot of money in a very simple way. Now, before we get into that, I want to talk to you about the plugin script world. I've bought plugins and scripts for many years. I've sold plugins and scripts for many years. This is something that is a huge business. We could see like Opt-in Monster, WP Forms. A lot of these plugins make a lot of money, typically between $250 and $10 million in revenue. Now, I've had plugins that have made me several hundred thousands of dollars, but we need to remember that while there's a lot of people making a lot of money with these, the vast majority of people trying to make money online make nothing. So this is a business. We're building something with the purpose of getting traffic, making money, selling it, or whatever it is. And we could see that there's a bunch of different tools that make a lot of money. So I'm going to have this list over at AIProfitScoop.com for you. You can check it out and go from there. What I want to show you here is that this plugin industry is huge. Multi-billion dollars. You have Code Canyon, you have WordPress. The plugin market size is estimated to be at like $1 billion a year or more. I think it's actually more than that. Individual plugins and codes can actually make a lot. I have other videos where you could see on Code Canyon and things like that where people are selling this. Yoast SEO, huge, was just acquired apparently by the people who bought out Bluehost. Big business. I think that's that one. $10 million annually with an SEO plugin. So we're seeing a lot of stuff here. We could see the different types of plugins that sell and everything like that. But what does that have to do with Manus? Well, I actually found out that not only can Manus make files and documents and articles and put them in a zip file, but it can also make a plugin. So up until now, using a tool like ChatGPT, you would have to go through and make each file individually, package it together, and make a plugin. Whereas with Manus, I can go through and I can say, please make a WordPress plugin that allows, and then I can say whatever I want. Maybe we go through and say allows people to change the permalink to a 404 error. Or maybe I could go through and say make a WordPress plugin that tracks visitors and the pages they land on and creates a 404 error report. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to go through and make all the files in the plugin, zip them up, which is what a plugin is a zipped file, and then make that plugin so I'm ready to take it to market. Now, one of the other things I noticed with this Manus ability to make multiple files is we can actually give it a zip file and have it change it fix it, brand it, or whatever we want. This opens up a new way to make money, a way that I've been making money for years, where you can create tools based on what people want. Maybe I can go through and say, create a WordPress plugin for dentists to get new clients leads via pop-up windows or something like that, right? Something very simple. It's going to go through and create these in a very simple way. Now, I did notice that Manus does take substantially longer than other tools, but it's actually making the whole thing in one go. So as where with ChatGPT, I'd have to make a file, save it, make another file, save it, make sure all the files talk to each other, and oftentimes things will get lost in translation. This is actually doing it right out of the get-go, which is very simple. So we could see this is going to help me make money. Let me show you exactly how. If I was to take a list of these keywords that I found from various different WordPress sites, we can see what people want. WordPress plugins, we got WooCommerce, Contact Form 7, which is a highly popular one, WordPress SEO. So I could go through and let's say I wanted to do this in a very easy way. I remember years ago, there was a guy who made millions off of a simple little plugin that made like keywords bold or something. It was a very, very simple, almost stupidly simple plugin, and he made a lot of money on it because it did something that people didn't know to do. So let's go through and say, let's make a WordPress SEO plugin that has a checklist and areas for keywords, a score based on the keyword, and other things like that. It'll actually go through and make this for you. Now, you can use different plugins and different AI tools to get the logic, but this will actually create it. And let's see how it does with the logic here. Like right here, we see, yes, it is doing this. Focus on for search. Yeah, let's do search is fine. And it'll go through and do this, and it'll find like the 404s and stuff like that. Now, what's going to happen is you're actually going to have a plugin that's ready to go, right? So right out of the gate, I was able to take this plugin, load it to my site, and boom, we're ready to go. It's ready to be used right out of the gate. No editing, no nothing. There was a little bit of tweaking. We have to figure out the bugs and stuff like that, which isn't that difficult to do. You just figure out what they are, ask it to fix them, and you'll see them when you upload them. Let me show you how it works. If I was to go into my WordPress right like this, you can see there's several plugins I've made, like Profit Voodoo, which is a really cool one that allows people to make posts and get prompts and things like that. Really cool stuff. We're going to go through and we're going to go to plugins right like this. I'm going to click on Add Plugin, Upload Plugin, and then I'm just going to get that plugin I got right here, Custom Admin right like this, and hit Install Now. So what I have here is a custom plugin that allows them to change the admin URL so that it secures it, and then it allows them to get like a two-factor email so that they have to have a code to log in, securing their WordPress. If you were to look at the keywords for this, let's go to Ahrefs right like this, we're going to see that people do in fact look this up quite a bit. WordPress security is looked up about 5,000 times a month. We can also do like WordPress login security or whatever it is that people want that's going to help them. And we can see here that this plugin right out of the get-go actually uploaded and worked in a very simple way. It's over here somewhere. It is called Custom Admin Email and 2FA, which is cool. So now we can see it's actually going to put it over here in settings, I believe it is. Under settings, we're going to go to Custom Admin 2FA. We can change the admin and enable 2FA, which means I now change WP admin to whatever my secure location is. And then I have an email that's like, oh, hey, enter this to be able to log in. Very simple, very easy. And you can see it's based on a demand that people want. Here they are looking it up. Now, going through with this is a game changer, and I was almost ready to cancel my Manus until I figured this out, because now I can create scripts. I can even go in and say, let's make a simple script where someone can pay via PayPal and get a custom thank you download page. And it'll actually go through and do the logic behind it, make all the files you need, give you the stuff that you need to change, and boom, you can have your own membership site in like 2 seconds where you could sell digital downloads. And this is something people want, right? You're going to go through, we can go and say something like script, and it'll tell you the scripts people want. Now, a lot of this is going to be like different scripts for movies, but over here, you're going to see different things like this, or something like this, where it's like a membership site type thing. I've paid for these many times, and a lot of people just want a simple solution. They don't want to pay for some robust, crazy thing. They just want something simple. So if I can go through and find the different plugins, tools, or whatever it is they want, I'm off to the races. And you can see this is based on things people search for. WordPress quiz plugin. Maybe you can do like a all-in-one WP migration or something like that, where you could do like, transfer WordPress or WordPress redirect or all kinds of different things. You can even tie them into AI and say, let me make a plugin that ties into ChatGPT for checking this, or Grammarly for checking plagiarism or whatever. And you can see here, it's going to work, creating an app for us that's ready to go. And these are actually working really well. Now, you do have to like kind of babysit them and say, okay, yes, please do that, or whatever. So very simple, very easy. What we want to do is we want to focus on things people would actually use and create tools with multiple scripts. Now, the ability to have multiple files is a game changer, because now I can create those plugins. I can create those tools. A lot of the plugins we do, with the exception of one like this, that's a one file deal, a lot of them are multiple files, like our Funnel Voodoo and all the plugins that we have in AI Profit Scoop. Those are all more robust, so they need multiple files, where Manus will actually create them for us, which is great. We can even go through and create multiple website files. Maybe you create like the layout of a giant website or something like that. Stuff like this is opening the gate for a lot of people to get into an industry where they probably wouldn't have been able to before. So what can we do? We can create scripts, we can create plugins, we can create software and tools and all kinds of things like that using Manus AI and the ability to do bulk. Let's go ahead and try uploading one and see what happens when we upload a more robust one. Here's a survey plugin. We can give it this here and say, work out the bugs in this script. And it'll actually do that for you. Another thing we can do is we could go through and actually create a theme. Please create a simple WordPress theme with a logo they can change, a background they can change, very minimal, white, easy, Arial font, etc. And we could go through and do this. Let's see what we have here. So high effort, we'll just do standard. And then we can go through and see what the theme would look like. And again, it's pretty easy. All you need is WordPress. You don't even need to know too much other stuff. You could just test it with this. And you'll see, watch what happens here when we do WordPress theme. You're going to see there's a bunch of people that are looking up different WordPress themes. And if we can customize it, there we go, right? We're going to see like WooCommerce, whatever this one is, fastest WordPress theme. That's a good one. Sometimes you'll have like WordPress theme for church, or this real estate WordPress theme. Imagine if I can use this tool and create all kinds of WordPress stuff for realtors. I mean, game over, I win. Or SEO WordPress theme. These are the kind of things where you can give away the theme and then sell the premium stuff, right? So like maybe I would have a plugin or something like that, or maybe I can have it tie into, their houses for sale or whatever. Very, very simple stuff. And I can go through and say, please make this. And it'll go through. It'll probably ask me some questions on what I would want it to look like. But again, it's pretty basic, pretty easy. Now, utilizing this with other tools, like maybe even the Gemini 2.5 Pro, I can get the logic of what I would want. This is key because I can go through and say, please tell me some plugins for WordPress that would be good for realtors. And then I can take this and use it as the prompt, which is very, very cool. And then once it's done, I can take that and give it to Manus as the prompt. But being able to do this is kind of a game changer because it remembers, right? We can say, create this file, now create this file, now test this with this, now add this. And it'll go through and kind of remember what's going on, which before we didn't see. See how this is going through and talking about all the real estate plugins and tools and things like that. This is actually pretty cool. So we got virtual tours, general purpose, so like SEO for realtors, IDX stuff, all kinds of crazy stuff like this that we can actually make using Manus. And then we can go through and it'll create them. Let's try something like this, where we would say general purpose. So what I would do is say make a real estate SEO plugin. Let's make a SEO WordPress plugin for realtors where they can enter their house and it helps them with SEO or house for sale or whatever. Right now, I did get a little excited and exceeded the limit, but you can see how it works. Here's our SEO one with the checklist and everything. And again, once it's done, I get that zip file. I'm ready to take it to market fairly quickly. And I think of all the AI tools, this is the fastest one where we can go from idea to market like that. Now, again, there will be bugs, but, testing them out, that's what a business is about, is testing these things and making them work. But once we get this, now I could start to build a business, build a mailing list, test it out, get people in, get people working it, and see where the market's going to be. Now, taking a look at some others, going through and seeing what people want, like redirect or maybe something like real estate or a map plugin, or you could take a look at some of these bigger ones like a mail plugin, recipes or whatever, all kinds of crazy stuff here that we can make. And the sky really is the limit. When you look at Rank Math, I mean, they built a huge plugin all around SEO stuff. And in my opinion, as an SEO person, I wasn't a big fan of it. It was kind of cool, but I think it left a lot to be desired. Now, when you go in and you do this for a market like real estate, there's not much out there for this market, so I could tackle that market all on my own. Realtors spend money, so that's one where I can help them, right? Very, very cool. Or churches or whatever it is. Looking at this in a very, very specific way is key, right? We can even do like WordPress for and see what people are using WordPress for, SEO, hosting, tutorials, things like that. You could even do like church websites, church website. You're going to see a lot of people look this up. Best church website builder, $19,000 a month. So I could go out there, follow with me. This is where you stop looking at, oh, hey, make money online, and you start to look at a business. Watch this. Let's go to my whiteboard here, and I'm going to map this out for you. So we have best church website builder, 44 competition, which isn't terrible. We get templates, which is 10. A lot of people searching for it. 19,000 searches a month, which is crazy. What do they want? They're churches that want to build a website. So what I would do is I'd be like, here is why WordPress is best. Here are church WordPress themes. Here are some templates. Here are some plugins. And I'm going to give them all to you for free when you get web hosting through my link. All I got to do is get them over to web hosting, which I do all the time. I sell lots of web hosting as an affiliate. They pay anywhere from $65 to $300 a sale, and they need it anyway. These churches need it anyway. It's like $9 for them, or I think some of them have a special right now, which is like $4 for them. I get my $300. I give them these as a bonus and help them build their site. Boom, done deal. That is incentivized marketing. Make sure that the hosting company is okay with it. Usually they are, but definitely make sure. Last thing you want is to not get paid. But going through and tackling this, could I go through and make a business around church websites? Yeah, looks like I can. Here's a guy doing this exact thing. So lots of ways to make money. We can see here, they got like best church website, website builder. We can see here, dude's got 5,000 views, and it's very, very specific traffic. So there we go. Ready to go. Traffic, simple. Make a video about your website builder. Get them into hosting. Get them into other stuff. You can make a small little business doing this as a side hustle or build plugins for them or whatever it is. And we can see here it's going to work creating these things, which is simple. I mean, it has taken a while, but, I come back. I got a plugin, which is pretty cool. And we can see it's doing pretty good. Like, look at it, already started making all of the stuff here. Let's just do, what does it want? I've completed this, assuming, yeah, go ahead, and it'll make the rest of it. And then once I have that zip file, I can test it, take it to market super quick. Being able to test and take things to market quick is a game changer. And that's one of the things I wanted to update you on with Manus, is the fact that you can actually make these and pretty much get them working out of the get-go. Test them out, see what doesn't work, see what does. On this one here, it did have a problem with the slug, right? So going through here, it was like WP admin did have a problem. I would need to change it, but going through with that, you would have to go through and build it out. But you can see how it works and enable all this other stuff and things of that nature. So go out there, work on this thing. I think it's an absolute game changer. I think being able to make this is key. You can make all kinds of little tools to build a mailing list, giving them away free, or you can make stuff that you would sell, like this one here we made, where they could download the WordPress page as a PDF or whatever it is. Lots of cool things you can use, and Manus is there to help you every step of the way. It'll create the whole thing. Here is our plugin. We can see we're ready to go, and bada bing, bada boom. I think it has the entire thing here. I can download them as a zip, and I think I should be able to upload this. Let's try it out. Just for testing this to see how it works. And now we can see upload, choose, and we got dentists, install. Let's see if it did the files right. Activate, moment of truth. It did have an error, so I'd have to go through and see what files it had and fix that up. I think what it did is it did not include the main file. So I would just say, how about the main plugin file? And it'll know what it is, and it'll make it work. But yeah, going through these, game changer in being able to build tools that you can take to market. So if you enjoyed this, check out AIProfitScoop.com. I'll give you the full list of plugins and things like this so you can go through it and learn how they work. See what they want, like this one for cookies. That's kind of cool, right? Cookie consent. That's good. You can make that pretty easy. File managers and things like that. You could see these are searched for quite a bit. So check that out at AIProfitScoop.com. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Check out the videos in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.